Alright, fellas, we are inside of Unreal now. We are using the same top-down character default template that we used for the last 3 times, and we're going to use the same thing again. We have all our powers inside of our character blueprint, and this time we are going to be experimenting our Mirage clone, right? Let's do that. I've always been fascinated with how the Apex Legends Mirage clone works. So this is a good way to scratch that itch of creating my own Mirage clone. Let's get into building the Mirage clone. To start off with, like all of our videos before, we are going to start by creating our input actions. And this time I've already created it. And if you haven't created it, or you don't know how to create it, please do go back to our first episode of creating the teleport power, in which I have actually gone and did all the steps of creating an input action and how to assign it to an input mapping context. But here I've already created one. I am Mirage clone, and I have used the data type as digital bool and used the trigger pressed. I've also assigned it to the mapping. I've used the key Q for our clone, and that is basically it. We have already created our input action. Yay! Let's move on. Let's go to our blueprints folder, and first things first, we are going to need a clone of our actual character. So the easiest way I found was just copy, paste, and rename it BP underscore Mirage clone. Simple. Or if you do want to make your own Mirage clone instead of doing a copy paste, you can always right click and go to the blueprint class. You can either select a either select an actor or a character. And basically our top-down character blueprint is of a class called character. So you can use either one of them and you can achieve the results, because in my case, I want my clone to look exactly like mine. But in your case, you may want another thing to go out of your body, like maybe an animal, or let's say like expecto patronum, that you want some animal shape to go out of you. It could work, so you can do that too. But the procedure for creating the clone will be the same. So you can still follow it and you can still do the same thing. So I'm going to go into my Mirage clone blueprint class. I'm going to delete all of these nodes that exist, because we already have that in our actual top-down character blueprint, and we don't need any of them. You don't need the camera, you don't need the spring arm, but I'm not going to delete it. I'll just leave it at that. You're going to need a character movement, or you can also add float movement, which I'm not going to be using. I'm just going to be using the character movement. I found it simpler compared to other things. First things first again, let's go into the mesh, and for our clone, our mesh is not going to be the collision, so we are going to be turning it off. We are going to change the presets to no collision, and we are going to we are going to use only the capsule component as our collision, which is already set to pawn. So that is basically it for outside here. We are going to get into how to set up the animation for our clone movement later on, after we have created the clone moving in the game itself. So let's first off start building our Mirage clone movement instructions. To start off with, I'm going to bring a node called event begin play. So when this game starts, I want my clone to know the direction that my actor is facing in the world, and also use that information later on so that the clone can move in the appropriate direction when it is summoned. So I'm going to drag off this. I'm going to add a node called add movement input, which is going to give my actor world direction to my clone. So I'm going to drag off the world direction, and I'm going to add get for actor forward vector. Actor forward vector. So when I was learning or experimenting this prototype for my Mirage clone inside of Unreal, I came across this issue where my clone was sinking into the floor. And I'm not sure why it is happening, but when I was researching for a solution, I did come across a post where it said that this kind of a behavior is very common for a top-down map, which is annoying because my game is going to be a top-down one, so I needed a solution. So I couldn't find any concrete solution, actually, to be honest. So I came up with an idea later on and kind of researched how to do it, and then I implemented that way and it worked. So what I did was I created a variable called locked z and assigned it a float type. And I also brought in the locked z and set it right in between event begin play and add movement input. And then I got get actor location. Get actor location. And I split it into 3 X, Y, and Z and attached the Z to our set locked Z node. What this does is it creates a variable where the actor location is locked to the value of locked Z variable, which is 0, and our actor will never move in the Z axis up or down. In terms of my clone movements, I'm happy with that. So we are going to be using this information later on in the script to make sure that our character only moves in the X and Y axis of our game. Let's start implementing the movement in that direction that is being collected by the add movement input in the world space. So to do that, let's start off with by adding event tick so that this is calculated every second and our result is updated every tick in the game. We are also going to add a node called add world offset. Add actor world offset. Actor world offset. This will apply our movement to our clone in the world space without our intervention. So to make the clone move on its own, we are going to be adding our information in by adding 2 new variables. One of them is called move direction, and the other one move direction, and it's going to be a vector. And also, to make sure this move direction shows up in our top-down character blueprint later on, we are going to turn on instance editable and also expose on spawn, so that the move direction is activated as soon as we are spawning our Mirage clone later on. I will explain it a little bit more when we get to that point in our top-down character blueprint. So let's turn that on, hit compile, and we are also going to add another variable called speed. And this speed is going to be a float value. And hit compile, we are going to go inside speed, and we are going to add 600 centimeter per second speed, since that is going to be the default movement speed for our default character that we are using. I'm just going to use the same thing. You can increase the speed or decrease the speed depending on your taste. You don't have to follow me. I'm just going to use the normal speed. So let's start by bringing in both of our variables using the get function, and we are going to be multiplying these two, and we are also going to be multiplying our result of direction and speed with our seconds, so that it calculates every second the direction and the speed, determining the location that our clone should be moving to. And we are going to connect that result to the delta location and hit compile. This should basically add the movement to our clone. Since we have not set up our clone input action yet in our top-down character blueprint, we cannot test this now, but this is basically the setup for our clone. But I'm going to add a few more nodes before we jump to our top-down character blueprint, which is destroying this clone after a second or two. So I'm going to add a delay node, and we are going to say 1.5 seconds. And once completed, we are going to destroy actor. We are going to destroy the clone so that we can spawn it again later. Now our Mirage clone blueprint is complete. I will come back for the to this script later, and I will show you why when I get to that point. Let's now jump back to our top-down character blueprint and start using our Mirage clone data inside here so we can actually use the power in the game itself. As usual, we are going to start off by bringing in input action, which is IA Mirage clone. And from this, just like how we spawned our clone in our previous videos, we are going to use spawn actor from class node here as well. And this time, under the class option, we are going to select BP Mirage clone. You might be remembering we used after image in one of our videos, but this time we are using Mirage clone. And as soon as I selected the Mirage clone, you might be seeing a new option that popped in, move direction. Like I said before, since we turned on our spawn on expose option and the instance editable option together in the Mirage clone blueprint, so that information is going to be inputted to our Mirage clone here, and we can use that information to make sure our clone is moving in the correct direction. So let's start off with the basics. For the spawn transform, we are going to do something. We might have not done this before, but this time we are going to split it. I'm going to get both the location and the direction, and the rotation of our clone right before it starts moving away from us. So we are going to get our actor location first, which is simple enough, and add it to our spawn transform location. And to get the rotation and the move direction, we are going to add a very similar node that we might have encountered in one of our previous videos, get player controller. This will bring our mouse information inside of our character blueprint. We are going to get our hit results under cursor by channel. This will get the information of our cursor in the world space in our game. we are going to break the hit results to get more information of the same cursor, where it is, locations and stuff, and use that information to determine our move direction and the rotation. Since I want the clone to move in the direction or facing the direction of my cursor, I want to get the information of our cursor first and then apply the rotation based on that, so that when our clone moves away from us, it will move, or it will rotate itself in the direction our cursor is facing, and the clone will move correctly in that direction of our cursor. So let's start off by completing the spawn transform rotation information. For that, we are going to get the get actor location node to start off with, and we are also going to bring in a node called find look at rotation. So what this node does is it takes the get actor location at the start, and also it targets our cursor location and determines the rotation based on both of these locations, and adjusts our rotation of our Mirage clone when we are inputting these two options together. We get the new rotation where the clone is facing or rotating towards our cursor. Now we are also going to be using, we are also have to say which direction our clone should be moving to. So how do we determine the move direction? Similar to how we found the actor rotation, let's start off with get actor location. You can copy paste it or bring it in. It is purely based on your taste. And we are going to subtract our actor location with the location of our cursor, and we are going to assign it to our move direction. But before that, we are going to add a node called normalize, so that there is no weird values that goes in between the operations, and you can connect the normalize to the move direction. That is basically it. Let's hit compile and test it out how it looks in the game. Let's hit play. Let's hit Q. What? There you go. Oh, it still syncs. That's not good. That's not good at all. Oh, yeah, we forgot a step. We have created the variable to lock our z-axis, but we didn't actually implement it in our script. So we are going to implement it now inside of our Mirage clone blueprint by bringing in a node called set actor location. Set actor location. Whew. And also we are going to bring out get actor location. We are going to drag off it, and we are going to break vector. We are also going to make vector. And we're going to connect the X and Y, and we are going to use the locked Z here as the variable is 0, so it will lock our character movement in the Z-axis, and we are going to connect the return value to our new location. So this sets our actor location and movement only in the X and Y axis. I completely apologize, guys. I make mistakes too. I even though I have prototyped it before, I do it on the go, so I might have missed it when I was doing it. Let's go back into our hit compile, and let's go back to our top-down character. Hit compile once again, just to be sure. Let's hit play and test it out once more. I'm going to hit Q. There you go. He slides in the floor. Yay! But it looks ugly that the character is sliding, right? And I don't want our character to just, or our clone to just slide. So how do we fix it? I can easily fix it by just going back to the Mirage clone. We're going to select the Mirage clone itself. And if you see in the animation mode, since we are not inputting any character movement by ourselves, it does not know what animation should be playing. So you can simply go to use animation asset, or you can use the animation blueprint if you want. Since this is just a prototype, I'm just going to use a simple animation asset. You can go to the drop down menu. You can type in ABP or like Manny. Come on, Manny. Yes, I'm going to use the run forward Manny animation, and you're gonna leave it at looping and playing, and you're gonna hit compile again so that our top-down character now, when it spawns its clone, it's going to run rather than just float off the floor. Let's hit Q. And there you go. Your character is running. He's running in the floor. That is how you generate a Mirage clone that runs away from you, confusing the enemies. I'm also not going to be spamming this power, so I'm going to do the same thing that I did for other stuff where I am spamming, where I'm trying to not spam it. So I'm going to use the same do once node here, do once, and I'm going to connect it. I'm going to connect this there, and I'm going to add a delay node. I'm going to add 2 seconds, and once it's completed, I'm going to reset it, add a reroute node. I'm going to leave it at the top this time. It is cleaner that way. And yes, you are basically done with creating a Mirage clone, just like from Apex Legends. It's not as perfect as the one they have in Apex Legends, but it is close enough, and it can be used in your own game if you are interested in such a type of a power. So you might be asking, why are you doing this? You already have a power which creates a clone, and why are you using the Mirage clone now? I'm just prototyping different powers, and when I was thinking about cloning, I had few other ideas, but I went with this at the moment because this is certainly slightly different from the actual clone power, because the actual clone power the clone only stays in one place and it does not do anything else. But this could be used as a misdirection power, which is very interesting compared to just a stationary clone. So I think this would be a cool power to have for any character in a game, for any misdirection kind of thing. So if you do kind of like it, try it on and leave comments how it went for you. If you do come across any issues, please leave a comment and I will try to answer it promptly. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Have a good day.